How Sweet the Fruit podcast. Today we're celebrating, well, not even celebrate, but we are commemorating the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and this is the first of the How Sweet the Fruit podcast, where we'll be discussing a series of activities that will be taking place in the month of October. JC is a Host with the Food podcast. We have a series of activities, as we said before. The first, where we have we have our Shanti from the Women's Action Committee. That's a committee from the Jamaica Civil Service Association, and we look at all issues impacting women. And as we said, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and how timing that we have our representative from the Women's Action Committee. And we have Mrs. Arlene Jarrett, financial advisor from Sagicor Life. Because unfortunately with this diagnosis, it takes cash to care, as we say, and cancer is no longer a death threat. You, with the right support, ladies and gentlemen, we can beat this thing, right? Absolutely. And we're having the discussions to notify our members. As you know, JCSA is 30,000 strong and counting, and our reach is wide. We have the Public Services International that we're also affiliated with, and so our House with the Food podcast is not just local. We have partners overseas that we interact with. So we have our podcast broken down in a few segments just to make sure that we catch everything and catch our breath at the same time. And we just want to set up, as we said, the context of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But even though we have Shanti with us, we have other ladies affiliated with the Women's Action Committee. We have Sister Peter Gay, which is also a part of the Women's Action Committee. I was hoping to see her today, but she's not in. So Shanti is sitting in and she'll be representing. All right, so we're jumping into the financial aspects of breast cancer. We have Mrs. Arlene Jarrett, as we said before, and she will be telling us what to do if you're diagnosed or you get the unfortunate news that you have breast cancer. I take it over to you.
So you kind of jumping ahead of the game now. We would hope that individuals would have done something prior to being diagnosed with cancer, because it costs so much. Cancer treatment costs a whole lot of money, millions. Mm-hmm. So we would hope that they would have had a critical illness plan in place. It takes starting from there. So if they have this critical illness plan in place, what they need to do is to contact their financial advisor.
So let me get something now. We know we're discussing the financial aspect of treatment if you get a diagnosis, but we're saying that it is better to have a friend than to seek it. Yes. Right? So you're basically saying that critical illness policies are very important in the grand scheme of things before you ever actually get any such diagnosis of breast cancer. So we just want to remind our viewers of this, whether it's female or male, critical illness policies, it's important for you to have those policies. So, but tell us a little bit about the policies then before we jump into the financial costs.
Okay, so basically we have different types of critical illness policies. Right. We have the total woman, because I know some people are of the opinion that if you have carcinoma in situ of the breast, there is nothing that you can get. But the total woman plan was
that big word from the please.
Okay, so carcinoma in situ of the breast is basically a lump in the breast, so it's confined to the breast, that is cancerous. Okay. That is what we call carcinoma in situ. There's no spread. Alright?
Right.
Okay.
I just have to ask you to repeat that word. It sounds very big and
Mhm.
serious.
It's really
Yes.
early stage cancer.
That's what we need
It's
to
early
ascertain.
stage cancer, and if you catch it at that point,
Right?
you have a better risk of or better chance of surviving. And
Okay.
your treatment modality is a lot different than when you catch it at say a stage 3 or 4. Okay, so we do have the total woman
Tell us
that,
about
that
the
has
total
been there
woman.
for a long time. So that is a critical illness plan, and as the name suggests, it's for women only because it's total woman. Okay, and it actually covers carcinoma in situ of the breast.
Right.
So whatever coverage you have on that plan, and you're diagnosed with a cancerous breast lump, which is carcinoma in situ, then that plan would pay the full coverage. And in acknowledging this whole cancer awareness, we have gone ahead and added 4 other products that you can get paid out on if you have carcinoma in situ.
Okay, you want to tell us about those?
Yes. So we have the Triple Protector Plus, the Cancer Plus, the Maximum Protector, and the Critical Illness Protector. Those plans would pay up to $1.25 million.
As a basic or starting amount?
As a base, that is a payout if you're diagnosed with carcinoma in situ. So it's a percentage of the coverage that you have that will be paid. So it's 25%, and it is capped at 1.25 million. So if you have all 4 of those plans, you can get up to 25% on each one of them. And of course, if you have the total woman, the full coverage is also paid.
Well, how much is the full coverage for the total woman? Just remind.
The maximum coverage on it is 35 million. So if you buy that amount, you can get that amount.
Okay. I'm really, I want to say curious, but I'm probing you about the critical illness plans because Jamaicans on a whole, sometimes we have a bit of hesitancy to take out insurance policies. You know, there's some bad omen. The minute I take out a policy, something is going to happen to me. But as I said before, seek a friend before you need one. And ideally, insurance, it's a just in case because you know that's the Murphy's Law. Anything can happen, can happen. What is your advice to especially young females and just females overall about being proactive in securing critical illness?
Okay. I like to use this analogy. If you drive a car, you have a spare tire in your car, right?
Oh yes.
Why you have that spare tire? You
Not
have
the one on your waist, right?
No. So you would have had 4 tires on your car,
Yes.
but you have a spare in your trunk.
Right.
And that spare tire is just in case you're driving down the road and one of your tires
Go back or go flat.
right? It could be that there's a nail in there or you bump on something and the tire just bursts.
Right.
And you need a backup. So insurance is really a backup plan. You are going along life, nice and merry, you don't know what will happen. And unfortunately, things like cancer doesn't think about age. So children get cancer, babies get cancer.
We see there's an aggressive takeover.
Exactly. And you have 20-odd-year-olds, 30-odd-year-olds getting cancer and severe types of cancer too. In fact, when younger girls get breast cancer, they tend to be more aggressive than when an older woman gets breast cancer.
It's because of the hormones.
The hormones, right. So I wouldn't want to say a woman should wait until she's older because she doesn't know what will happen. Nobody knows. And because we don't have a crystal ball to look in to see the future, we try to prepare ahead of time. And as you said, seek a friend before you need a friend. Because if you wait until you feel the breast lump to go and buy the critical illness plan, it's too late.
Okay.
Because there are waiting periods with the critical illness plan, 3 to 6 months, depending on which one. And if you already have the breast lump and the doctor is investigating that, even if the diagnosis is made 6 months after,
right,
it would have still been too late because you would have been aware of the cancer being there prior to, or suspect that something was wrong prior to. So you have to get it before something is wrong.
And I'm really stressing on this area, as I said. I was blessed to have a few persons around me to guide me in terms of setting up certain things in the early stage. But not many young folks have that privilege, or they're not even thinking about cancer, or, at that age, I said you're in a Superman era, Superwoman era. You don't think anything at all can happen. And so the minute you leave high school and you start working, one of your things on your to-do list as a part of self-development, because this is about financial advisor as well, is investing in an insurance, critical, if it's even an insurance policy for critical illness. That age, when I did my research then, it's much more affordable to take up that plan at 5 million versus when you're in your 30s. Can you give me Can you give me a difference in terms of what a younger person would pay? Because you know I have an estimate sheet.
Okay, so for example, if you would consider a non-medical critical illness plan.
What do you mean non-medical?
You don't have to do a medical to get it, right? So there are those plans that sometimes people might say, oh, I have high blood pressure or diabetes, I can't get insurance, but there are plans that they can get, and critical illness plans.
Good.
So let's say somebody is taking out $1 million coverage for argument's sake, and they're in their 20s. That would be like $900 and some dollars. If you're in your 50s.
Hold on. When jump over that, Mrs. Jarrett. 900. So it's less than a KFC.
Yes.
Less than a two-piece meal deal. You hear? $900.
So when you're very young, the premiums are really low. When you're in your 50s now, it's going to be upwards of $4,000 for that same $1 million coverage.
Okay.
So it's best to do it when you're young.
And so you said you can start with 1 million with 900, and then as you go along, you keep increasing the value of that benefit. Why is it you need to do that? Because that was something that I also did a research in terms of.
Okay, so I remember when I just started working a few years ago, I won't say how long. But my gross annual income was $54,444. Gross annual income.
Wow.
Now just imagine if your monthly net income was that. You would not be able to survive.
Not in 2025. No.
So when you start off with the 1 million, that probably be all you can afford. No. But as time goes by, that 1 million depreciates. It doesn't value as much. So you need to add to it and add to it. And the more you earn, the more you can afford to buy. And as you earn more, what happens is that your lifestyle changes. So instead of being, you'll be satisfied with, say, a cheaper pair of shoes.
Right.
You're earning more money now, you want a more expensive shoes, a brand name shoes.
True.
You want to change your phone, so as your standard of living increases then. And so as that happens, you would want to ensure that you are covered in tandem with that. So if something should happen, you get cancer and any other of the critical illnesses, it's not only to cover your medical expenses, but also to maintain that lifestyle that you have grown accustomed to. So as your lifestyle increases or as your income increases, you want to increase your benefits as well. Because you are trying to protect your income.
And I think that's a very important area to discuss, and that is why I went back to it, because that is indeed true. That the policies are actually way more affordable. I will not use the word cheap, but affordable. And that as young persons, under the age of 35, because we actually have a young workers committee, by the way, just encouraging young civil servants and public servants, females, that the minute you get a job, one of those things on the to-do list as a part of your financial plan
Mhm.
is definitely to get a basic critical
Basic
illness
Yes.
insurance to cover yourself. So I needed to do that to set it up because, as you said before, you don't want to be too late,
Right.
right? And oftentimes that's when persons are going around, they're trying to do a GoFundMe and get the other additional financial support, which might not come in time,
Exactly.
especially if you have an aggressive form of that cancer.
Right.
So, having said that, now we're going to segue into the costs to care
Wow.
when you are diagnosed with breast cancer.
Well, first you have to think about the different diagnostic tests that you have to do. And even some of those diagnostic tests are very expensive. I don't know the figures off the top of my head, but I know even to do a mammogram, a proper type of mammogram, is about $20,000. And that's the good type, right? Because you have some that the imaging is not as good, so you don't get most accurate result from those. So you want the 3D imaging ones that they have that will give you better results. And then you might have to do a biopsy, right? Fine needle biopsies are hundreds of thousands of dollars to do those. And then when you get into the treatment now, if you have to do the mastectomy, and most people want to spare their breast, right? So they might do what is called a nipple sparing mastectomy, and they do a reconstruction. So they spare the nipple and then they do a reconstruction. Okay, breast is not a breast without a nipple. Right? So they would want to do that. Those surgeries cost in the millions.
When you say million,
like 2.8 million for those kind of surgeries. Okay, and then you have to do chemotherapy now. Sometime, I think it was earlier this year, there was a doctor who was doing a presentation.
Right.
And he was talking about some of the different drugs that they have on the market now that are very effective in treating breast cancer. And he was saying that some of those drugs cost is now $800,000 per month
for the drug,
and you need this drug for 2 years. When I did that calculation, that is $19.2 million for chemotherapy only. They have another drug that would cost $300,000 per month, and you need that for something like about 15 months or something like that. But when you look at the different treatment modalities, the ones that are very, very effective are also very costly. But those persons who can afford to do those treatments, they usually get very good results. So I've met patients or clients who have had that kind of cancer and they got that kind of therapy. And one lady in particular, she did a presentation for us and she was saying that she was one of very few clients who was able to afford the treatment, and she was able to do that only because she had a critical illness plan. So it is not chicken feed. So when somebody say, "Oh, I have $5 million, I have enough," I'm like, if only you knew. But sometimes when you say it, they think it is more like a sales gimmick, but it is not. It's a reality. And when you look at different, I was reading an article this morning. A young lady was sharing her story, and she was saying that to date she has spent $8 million in treatment, and she was still needing treatment, so she still needed more funds. So it is not cheap, and some people have gone broke because they had to liquidate their assets in order to treat their illness. Because at the end of the day, we all want to live.
That is so
We all want to live.
And I'm happy you gave us a breakdown. I had a reality check just now, and I'm definitely considering it because when you said something is not enough, I'm like, oh yeah, wow. Yes. So, to our viewers or subscribers, our well wishers, ladies, you hear your drug alone can cost up to $800,000 per month. And as we said, everybody wants to live, no one wants to die. So it goes back to the fundamentals of ensuring that you start somewhere
Yes,
as a part of the planning process.
exactly.
And I don't know about anybody, cancer is almost like breathing these days or drinking a bottle of water. Every other female or person is experiencing some amount of, issues in that area. So it now more than ever, we have to be very proactive in our planning process and preparation process to say, just in case, I have something. And I really appreciate the fact that you would have provided that context in terms of cost and example in terms of cost because we underestimated what I didn't expect it to be so
really
much.
high.
It's really high. As I said, I got a reality check. But notwithstanding that, I just want to jump over to my next guest on set from the Women's Action Committee, and that is Shanti. So we spoke about financial support, we spoke about preparing yourself. Now you're in this process and you're going through surgery, you have got diagnosed with surgery, and now you're in chemo. I've seen some ladies gone through the chemo process, and there are just days when they're just crying. There's nothing they can do. And the only way to speak to that issue is a bit of community support. And how does the Women Action Committee support those type of members? Have you ever found yourself in spaces where you have to interact with sisters? And we refer to each other as sisters and brothers in the union because it's a family.
Yes.
Shanti, what can you say about that?
Okay, so the Women Action Committee, it's big on supporting our female members.
All right.
And so we are the Women Action Committee. So we've come in contact with sisters already who have been going through the process of breast cancer, and we try to lend our support by being supportive. We try to to meet them at an area where they will feel okay to come to us.
Right.
And to look support in terms of, even as I say, the financial aspect of it is very expensive. So we approach, because Women's Action Committee doesn't work on its own. It's a part of the Jamaica Civil Service Association. We fall under the Jamaica Civil Service Association, and through the Jamaica Civil Service Association, they can get financial aid.
Oh, so you guys might do some community events or
Right.
something to raise some amount of funding or seek partnership with the Ministry of Health.
We normally speak to the Cancer Society,
Okay.
or we go through, as I said, we have a fund at the Jamaica Civil Service Association
Okay.
that can assist.
Okay. I see. Thanks for that bit of information. And we always say JCSA is the big deal union. Yes, because we're not only just about looking at employee related issues. We actually offer some amount of support to our members, and I'm happy Shanti mentioned this because oftentimes there's this thought of, I don't want anybody to know my business. But as the Bible always said, a closed mouth can't be fed. And if you need the support, sisters and brothers, because I need to come back to you, that but if whether or not you've ever had a male being diagnosed with breast cancer, because it can happen.
Yes, it can.
And you are a member of JCSA, you can offer the support, you can get the support that they need. And this is the part we speak about membership matters, right?
Membership does matter.
Membership does matter because
And we are a family, as we say, we refer to each other. brothers and sisters. We are a family and we're big on supporting each other.
Nice, thank you. Statistically though, we're having a challenge where females shy away from being screened.
It's a sore area.
Yes. By the way, before you go into that area, Shanti, Miss Jared,
Yes, dear.
first time they used to say when you reach 50 and 60, you're going for your screening. I remember what's her name, that doctor was saying if you drink, if you didn't know about quenching and press food. You remember that she's basically saying if you are aware of those, yes,
Yes.
things, then it's time to get a mammogram.
Yes.
Tell me, being a financial advisor and being in Sagicor for so many years, what would be your recommendation? And Shanti as well, because women sometimes are afraid of not wanting to get that result. Probably if I don't hear, I can live long just the same. That type of thinking in your head. Tell me, ladies, what is preventing women from getting the screening?
Let me say, all right, not just as a WAC member,
Right?
I also work in the healthcare sector. So women shy away for a lot of reasons. Some of them, it's just coming to the realization that this might be just happening to you, and it's scary, and it's better to say it's not happening than to admit that it's actually happening. So that is one of the biggest reasons, because to admit it to yourself, just to say, this is really happening to me.
Right.
And it is scary because we've heard over the years the horror stories of women going through cancer, whether it's ovarian or uterus cancer or breast cancer. We've heard the horror stories. Some women are afraid. We are, as you say, Jamaican women prize themselves on their looks. And some of them are afraid to lose their breasts.
I mean, that's a part of your femininity.
Right.
So for you to be told that you might lose your breasts or
Right. So
it could be augmented. It just doesn't sit well.
who wants to admit that they're sick? That's the point. And the other thing is that in terms of getting assistance and help to go through these tests, sometimes some of these women don't have proper support system. And because of that, some of them be going through it alone. And because of that, some of them give up. So most of them shy away from doing the test, finding out. Some of them say it's better to know so no one go back to God as is.
You're talking like a joke, but that's
That's true. Some of them think of it that way. It's better to not know. And we're at an age now where we're saying, find out early, because women are living. It's no longer a death sentence. We are living now. As
and you're giving this bit of recommendation based on the fact that you're in the healthcare
Find
field.
out. It's better to go through the process and live. Women are living longer. It's no longer a death sentence.
Okay, nice. And we just needed to touch on that because, as she rightfully said, sometimes, as females, we're shying away from facing our reality regarding breast cancer and screening for breast cancer.
Yes.
We just don't want to deal with it. But I asked a question earlier, have you ever had males?
I have never encountered any, but I know that it exists. Yes. And to go back to the question that you had asked her just now, we had a campaign, I think it was on the 1st of October, and the tagline was "Catch it early."
Right.
Catch it early. So that we stress the importance of early diagnosis because that really saves lives. And if you want to preserve the breast, if you catch it early, you have a better chance of preserving the breast.
Thank you definitely for that advice. But Shanti, let me just jump back to you quickly. I know JCSA is very proactive and very active in the social space when it comes on to awareness for major diseases. Because today is actually World Mental Health Day, by the way.
Yes.
And we just want to put it out there, and the OSH, the Occupation and Safety Committee, keep up the good work. We want to say hi to the chairman and the members who are actually out there campaigning for World Mental Health Day today. And this is something that can impact one's mental health. So we definitely have to pay homage to that, right? But WAC,
Yes.
tell us what you'll be doing this year as an activity as a part of Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
So WAC has always been big on supporting our ladies in the month of October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we will be doing the annual pink run, the ICWI pink run will be out in our numbers. This is our way of surviving. It is on the 26th of October, early 6 o'clock in the morning at Emancipation Park. If you are not, we're not saying just because it's WAC, once you belong to an MDA, any organization support the pink run, we need you to come out in our numbers to help us to support the ladies who are going through it, who are fighting with breast cancer. WAC is very big on that, and we are coming out in our numbers as WAC members to support our ladies out there going through breast cancer.
All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Viewers, subscribers, remember to subscribe. If you have not subscribed to the JCSA channel, please click that subscribe button. We're the Big Deal Union, right, Shanti? Right, and come out and support the pink run under the JCSA banner. I will be there this year. I'm definitely going to the pink run this year, and I'm going to celebrate and support because I've known quite a few survivors. Thank you so much, Mrs. Jared, for coming on set and providing information as it relates to financial advice and financial support, and to give us context as to the cost to treat breast cancer, and that it is not a simple walkthrough. We hope to do more How Sweet the Fruit podcasts for the month of October, looking at breast cancer. But for today, this is where we say thank you for watching the podcast. Thank you, ladies, for turning out. We appreciate it, and we're all wearing our pink today. And can we just put to say solidarity? This is something that we normally do, solidarity to our ladies and gentlemen. Anybody who is currently dealing with breast cancer or knows somebody who is dealing with breast cancer. So thank you so much for watching again, and see you soon. Bye-bye.